Chicago Cubs News Today.
You know, when you wake up, grab your phone, and think, please, not today? Yeah, the Cubs are being linked to a trade that could change everything or send another top prospect away for absolutely nothing. Take a deep breath, because this one is going to hurt. The big news exploded today. The Chicago Cubs are targeting Joe Ryan, a starting pitcher from the Minnesota Twins, to strengthen the rotation. And this is not fake buzz. With Matthew Boyd on the injured list, and the rotation basically depending only on Shota Imanaga, the front office knows it needs to move fast. Ryan is a 6-year veteran, an all-star in 2025, and he finished the season with 13 wins, 10 losses, a 3.42 ERA, and 194 strikeouts in 171 innings pitched. Those are solid numbers, but there is one massive problem. He left his last start with elbow pain. The tests did not show structural damage, but that still gives fans a horrible feeling, right? Let's talk about the numbers, because that is what matters most. Joe Ryan posted the best ERA of his career in 2025, 3.42, and his four-seam fastball was graded as one of the best pitches in Major League Baseball. According to Keith Law from The Athletic, Ryan's fastball was worth at least 14 runs above league average in EACH of the last 4 complete seasons. Hitters simply cannot square him up consistently. His whiff rate is above league average, his strikeout numbers are elite, and the WOBA he allows is extremely low. Translation? The guy dominates hitters. But then comes the real question. Is it worth taking a gamble on a pitcher who just experienced elbow pain? Because we all know how stories like this usually end. So let me ask you something. Are you willing to bet on this? Because every single time fans hear the words elbow pain and the tests came back clean, people get nervous. How many times have we seen this exact movie already? The pitcher comes back, throws 2 strong games, and then, boom, Tommy John surgery. Suddenly, the team loses another season waiting for recovery. Do you think the risk is worth it? Or is Jed Hoyer becoming too desperate, trying to keep this rotation alive? Let me know in the comments. Seriously. For context, the Cubs entered Thursday with 25 wins and 12 losses, leading the division by 3.5 games over the St. Louis Cardinals. The team is playing incredible baseball right now, but injuries are beginning to pile up. With Matthew Boyd sidelined, the rotation becomes Imanaga, and then what? Total uncertainty. That is why the front office feels pressure to target Ryan. Twins manager Derek Shelton said the team will closely monitor Ryan before his next scheduled start on Saturday. Translation: even Thea are not completely sure he is 100% healthy, and the Cubs are willing to negotiate without full certainty. Because if Ryan breaks down after the trade, guess who pays the price? From a strategic point of view, the trade makes perfect sense on paper. Ryan would become the number 2 starter behind Imanaga, giving the rotation more depth and experience. He has proven he can perform in big moments, and he brings a complete pitching arsenal. But the timing is dangerous. If the medical tests truly showed nothing serious, then why did he feel pain at all? Inflammation, wear and tear. Those things do not just appear out of nowhere. And if the Cubs complete the trade, and Ryan suddenly needs surgery 1 month later, the organization loses Booth, the pitcher, and the prospects it traded away. That would be a complete disaster. On the other hand, if Ryan returns healthy and pitches like he did in 2025, Chicago could finally have the rotation it needs to make a serious postseason run. The real question is simple. Are you willing to spin that roulette wheel? Look, I am going to be honest with you guys. I want to believe. I want to believe Joe Ryan will come back fully healthy, that the tests were accurate, and that he will dominate through October. But how many times have Cubs fans been fooled before? How many times have we watched the front office gamble on injured players and completely regret it later? I am tired of being optimistic just to get punched in the face. So forgive me if I sound skeptical, because to me, the phrase elbow pain feels like pure baseball trauma at this point. Now let's talk about what the Cubs might have to send to Minnesota. According to rumors, the package could include Caleb Wing, the organization's number 12 pitching prospect, and Kevin Alcantara, an outfielder with legitimate 2020 potential. Wing has a fastball that touches 96 miles per hour and a very promising curveball. Alcantara stands 6'6", has tremendous raw power, and covers center field extremely well. But he also posted a 30% strikeout rate in 2025. So the Cubs would potentially trade away a young pitcher with major upside A&D, a hitter with star potential, for a pitcher dealing with elbow pain. Does that make sense to you? So answer this honestly. Would you make this trade? Would you trade Wing and Alcantara for Joe Ryan? Because I know some fans are going to say, yes, this team needs to win rigged now. And honestly, I understand that argument. But what happens if everything goes wrong? What if the Cubs lose the prospects and lose Ryan? Then what? Another 5 years rebuilding the farm system. Drop your opinion in the comments. I want to know if you are on team win now or team protect the farm system. The impact on the roster would be immediate. Joe Ryan would slide directly into the number 2 spot in the rotation, pushing everyone else down one level and giving the bullpen some much-needed relief. You would have Imanaga, Ryan, and then try to build the rest around them. But without Boyd and without real depth, every single injury becomes a crisis. And here is the scary part. If Ryan gets hurt again, the Cubs end up exactly where they are right now, except without Wing and without Alcantara. The bullpen is already overworked, and if the starting rotation cannot consistently give the team 5 or 6 innings every night, the entire season could collapse. This is a dangerous all-in move. It works beautifully if Ryan stays healthy and performs. It completely explodes if he gets injured. I will tell you exactly how I feel. This trade makes me nervous. Not because Joe Ryan is not talented, because he absolutely is talented, but because the Cubs are risking way too much on a pitcher who literally just walked off the mound in pain. And I have seen this movie before. Yu Darvish, Tyler Chatwood, Jose Quintana. It always feels like the same story. The organization trades prospects, fans hope for the best, and then everything falls apart. So yes, I am worried. And honestly, you probably should be worried too. So what about you, Cubs fans? Are you IN or OUT on this move? Leave a comment, hit the like button if you follow Cubs news every single day, and let's debate this together. Because the front office might be completely insane or absolutely brilliant.